Janardhan ji, Hare Krishna. How are you? Janardhan ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. All well?
Yeah, very good, Prabhuji.
Good, good. Kamath family, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
You are dark. I can't see you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Show your cap, but I give it to you.
Power is not there.
Oh my God. No, I have another
Krishna ji,
bottle.
Hare Krishna.
नहीं तू कदे ना
Hare Krishna. There was some network problem, I think.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'm calling and speaking to everybody. Nobody is responding. Okay.
Yeah, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Sushila ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Technical problems. Okay.
Krishna.
Let's begin our prayers to Prabhupada and Lord Krishna.
Yes.
Begin our session. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki jai Shri Shri Sai Gauranga ki jai Shri
Jai.
Radha ki jai.
Jai.
Okay. So we have reached up to the verse number 24, right? So in this
Yes,
chapter, Krishna
Yes.
is answering the 8 questions which Arjuna has asked in the beginning, right? The last question regarding the practitioner of spiritual discipline, how he can fix his mind on the absolute truth,
Yes.
because the time of death is a very crucial moment. So this was the question of Arjuna, that how the mind of any practitioner of any yoga discipline, maybe it is he's an impersonalist or a yogi or a devotee, can steadily fix his mind on Krishna. Right? For which Krishna said, yes, it is important to fix mind on him, on Krishna, and this is going to take the practitioner to the supreme destination. Right? For the impersonalist, the destination is impersonal Brahman. For yogi, maybe it is one of the destination or one of the lokas where you want to go. And for devotee, it is one of the Vaikuntha lokas. Like this, Krishna elaborately described many various aspects of this practice. And specifically, Krishna was stressing on the aspect of pure devotional service, that fixing the mind on Krishna is very important. And if somebody asks the question of what about going to other higher planetary systems or going to Brahmaloka, Krishna says, anywhere you go in this material world, starting from Brahmaloka down to the lowest, all are places of repeated birth and death. So there is no possibility that you will have any eternal situation or eternal place of not having repetition of birth and death. Only Krishna's abode, that is Vaikuntha Loka, is the place where one has to go. So like this, Krishna has been in different ways explaining to Arjuna that your life destination should be going back to Krishna Loka. Right? So now, Krishna is going to explain about the different other practitioners of yoga who perfect their yoga system and who may want to reach a specific destination, right? It's like the impersonalists or the other disciplines of yoga other than bhakti yogis. What may be their destination is what Krishna is going to explain now. It's what Krishna hinted in the verse 23, that I shall explain to you the different times. Yatra kale tvanavrittim avrittim chaiva yogina. Anavrittim means you will not come back. Avrittim means you will come. You will go back. Or rather, you will not. You will come and you will not come. That's what it means. Anavritti means no return. Avritti means again return. It's like we take a return ticket when you book some, train ticket or flight ticket, right? Like that. But you go and you stay somewhere. What Krishna is going to explain now. Where you will go to come back and where you're going to not come back, and what are the different types of situations Krishna is going to explain now. Right? So basically, Krishna is going to make a clear discrimination with regard to the different practitioners of different other disciplines of yoga systems. So Bhagavad Gita in that way is giving a very nice analysis, carefully if you study, comparing all the different types of yoga systems, because sometimes people have the understanding anything you'll get the same destination. Yes, you may reach a particular milestone, but that may not be the final destination. What Krishna again and again wants to stress on, right? So here in the verse 24, Krishna says, Agnir Jyotir Aha Shuklaha Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Vido Janaha. So various parameters Krishna is indicating here. He's saying Agni, when the influence of the fiery deity or fire god, right? This is Agni. Then Jyotihi. Jyotihi, Prabhupada translated it as in the light. Basically, it means the daytime. It's bright light. And Ahaha again means day. Shukla means Shukla Paksha, right? And the moon traverses every 30 days in 2 cycles of waxing moon and waning moon, right? When moon is fully becomes manifest, that day is called Purnamasi, right? Purnamasya, right? Full moon day. And when the moon again waning happens, that day when there is no moon, it is called Amavasya, right? This cycle goes on every month. So there is the 2 pakshas or 2 periods, 15 days, 2 periods. One is called Shukla Paksha, one is called Krishna Paksha, right? That's what Krishna is saying to tell us here. So Agni Jyoti Aha Shukla Shanmasa Uttarayanam. It's like the moon is going through a cycle of waxing and waning every 30 days. Similarly, there is a cycle of sun rotating in a way that 6 months, it is called Uttarayana, and 6 months is called Dakshinayana, right? Shanmasa Uttarayanam. Tatra Prayata Gachanti. If a yogi is able to leave his body during this period, where there is influence of fire god, there is influence of light, auspicious moment of the day, aha, Shukla, aha, then during the Shukla Masa fortnight, the bright moon, and 6 months when the sun travels in the north, there is a possibility that he can attain the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. This is the point Krishna is telling. So basically, Krishna is trying to tell the passage of a living entity, a soul, from a body to different destination is all, monitored very carefully. so well monitored that the different devatas are all involved. Just like the mention of Agni Devata, then there is a Devata for light. Light basically means the influence of sun god. And there is a Devata who is controlling the day, night, Sandhya. Right? Night is over, day starts. Again, day is over, noon starts. Noon is over, evening starts. It's called Sandhya, three Sandhya. There are three Sandhyas, conjunction of two periods. Right? That is called Sandhya. We morning sing during Mangalarati that we have to remember Guru and Krishna, three Sandhya. Dhyayamstu yastrasya trisastra Sandhyam. Right? So we have to remember Krishna, spiritual master, 3 times in a day. So Sandhya means morning, night is over and day starts. That is one Sandhya called dawn. Right? There's a noon. When the morning is over and the noon starts, there is one more Sandhya. The evening, the noon is over and the evening and slowly night starts. That is one more Sandhya. 3 Sandhya. Right? Like this, there are different deities controlling various various other aspects going on in the whole universe. Right? The moon is controlling something. Sun is controlling something. Right? Like this, many presiding deities are there, controlling various aspects of the universal functions. So this we have to be very much aware. Not that things are just happening because we can't see or we don't experience anything grossly, it doesn't mean they don't exist. They do have their proper systematic way of working, and all of them are working under the direction of Krishna. Right? All of them are completely under the direction of Krishna. As Brahma says, even sun is moving in its orbit under the order of Krishna. Yachakshuresh savita sakala grahanam raja samasta suramurti ashesha teja yasyagnaya brahmati samvrata kala chakro. Brahmaji says that even sun planet is going on under the order of, under the influence of Krishna, Govinda. Yasyagnaya is going in its orbit under the direct instruction of Krishna. So like this, so many demigods controlling various aspects in this whole material world are controlling the passage of the soul. So basically, what every living entity has performed in its life is all recorded. In one context, Prabhupada says, there are so many witnesses. The sun god, the moon, directions. There are 10 directions. Right? East, west, north, south, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, up and down. There's a Devata controlling these directions. There is air, Marud. And there are 49 kinds of air described in the scriptures. We'll read in the 10th chapter. Krishna says, I am that air. Among the air, the chief Devata is called Marichi. So like that, there are air, there is sky, and Krishna himself sitting as Paramatma. So like how Paramatma knows everything, there are some personalities in this universe who have been given that access. Like Paramatma, Krishna knows everything. Similarly, Yamaraj knows everything. Because Krishna has given that access control. Yamaraj, Lord Shiva, Brahma, they all know what's going on in our consciousness. These are all very, things, they're all nice, wonderful knowledge revealed in Bhagavata. Because we all think, oh, nobody is watching me, nobody is doing anything, I am just free. There are innumerable witnesses all around. And Prabhupada says, every aspect of your life is minutely recorded. Just like you have, nowadays we have very powerful CCTV, right? Which is recording every moment. And recording is there because so many nice memory it has. It can record for days and months. So like that, Krishna has many agents, and Krishna himself is sitting as Paramatma. Everything is recorded minutely. And where the living entity has to, live is all very clearly destined. A nice conversation between Vasudeva, father of Krishna, and Kamsa. We all know the story of how when Devaki was married, Kamsa, as a very affectionate brother, he started driving the chariot of Devaki and Vasudeva as a nice brother. But as soon as the unembodied voice, Akashavani, said that the 8th son of your sister, Devaki, will kill you, that very same person who was so affectionate to his sister, he changed. Immediately he changed and he caught hold of Devaki's hair and took his sword and wanted to kill her. So the Vasudeva is in a shock. What is this? Just now he was like this, suddenly he changed. This is what happens with the demons. Demons' behavior. They are so unpredictable. Anything can happen anytime. They are very good with you now. Immediately they will become something. So when Vasudeva saw that this person has become like this, so cruel, he was not having any weapons in his hands. And moreover, to combat him or to oppose him was not the right time. So he wanted to somehow make him understand intellectually with some very wonderful statements, wonderful logic and understanding, so that Kamsa will not take any action further. Right? So Vasudeva had telling to Kamsa, you are such a great person. He's glorifying Kamsa. You are such a great person. You are fame of your whole Bhoja dynasty. And at this moment, you are you're trying to kill your own sister. It's going to bring a lot of defamation for you. So please resist from this action. Because sometimes people who have little sense, they will understand, oh, what I am doing. I am doing something for my own purpose. So then Vasudeva starts telling that for a person who is born will definitely die. So when death is so certain with regard to our very, very existence here, why are you worried? Right? Like this, Vasudeva goes on to explain how when a person is living in this life, what all actions he does will determine his next life. As Prabhupada says, man is the architect of his own future. So what actions we have been doing mentally, physically, verbally, based on that, one type of a subtle body is being created. That is what you're going to have prominently in your mind as your thought at the time of death. And that body will be prepared for you through the agents of the Supreme Lord in the material world. And that body will be awarded to you. So like this comes, Vasudeva speaks wonderful philosophy. And even then, Kamsa was not convinced. Rather, it doesn't strike him. Finally, when Vasudeva agreed, no, don't worry. Who knows? Eighth son will be born or not born. Even if it is born, if it is a son or a daughter, who knows? Whatever it is, whoever is born, I'll hand over to you. Then Kamsa felt okay, because Vasudeva is a person of word of honor. Let me, take this statement, and he resisted from killing, but he imprisoned both Vasudeva and Devaki. This is all we have heard in the Krishna pastime. So basically, my point was to tell your actions, what you have done now, or what you're doing now throughout your life, you may have forgotten, right? But all things are recorded. Everything is minutely recorded, Prabhupada says. And everything will be actually judged. So Yamaraj is that judge. He is a judge in the material world for those living entities who have been only prominently doing sinful activities, no aspect of any devotion. So for them, Yamaraj is a judge to decide between what is good, what is bad, and what life he is supposed to get. He's a judge. So when death happens, the Yamadutas will come and snatch our subtle body. Subtle body means body consisting of mind, intelligence, ego, with the soul, is taken away. Because subtle body is the body wherein all the impressions of what you have done is all stored. And the gross body is lying on the wherever it is lying, but the subtle body is snatched out. It is dragged to Yamaloka. So when we say this person left the body, where did he live? He's lying there only. What left the body? The soul with the subtle body has left the body. Right? So this is what is the modern day. In modern day, people think once functioning of the body stops, everything is stopped. What happens later? Nobody knows. Nobody wants to understand also. That is the level of ignorance and dumbness people are going through. So we have to take instructions from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam to understand that our life, every moment is being monitored and we have to lead a very responsible life. Right? Bhagavatam says, Lord Krishna, while instructing to Uddhava, he says, this body is a very wonderful boat. Right? To cross the ocean of cycle of birth and death. And in this body, human body, we should take shelter of wonderful spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master. Take his instructions of the Vedic knowledge, which are like favorable winds. Krishna has given so wonderful knowledge, which the spiritual master imparts us in a way which we can understand and comprehend. And that way, move forward in our journey of life towards the destination of spiritual goal. If you don't do this, then you are completely under the control of laws of nature. And laws of nature will decide what will happen to you next. I guess Prabhupada uses the word freaks of nature. Freaking out, it is called. No? Freaking out means what will happen next, we don't know. I give the example of football. Freaking out, ball is freaking out. Everybody is eating wherever it wants. Our life becomes like that. So human life is not meant to be freaked out by material nature. Rather, we have got the opportunity to guide our life through the instruction of Prabhupada and following them in our life to reach a proper destination. If we don't utilize our life like that, then we are no better than any other living entity in the material world, other than human form. So this is the point again and again stressed in the Vedic scriptures in various ways. So here, Prabhupada is telling the specific parameters mentioned by Krishna: influence of fire god, influence of light, influence of the moon god, influence of sun god. Like this, many parameters are fixed. Then at that time, if the yogi, by his practice of yoga, which he has perfected, was advanced in yoga practice so much, by arrangement of time, place, he has properly selected, and at that time I want to leave the body, he has left the body, and it may be possible for him to attain Brahma Jyoti. But others who have not specifically practiced like this may not reach this, like this, right? Or if by accident somebody has left body at this auspicious moment, maybe it is possible. But if not, by accident means chance, by chance. It's like sometimes people say luck. It happened. But why you have to depend on luck? It may or it may not happen. It's not a lottery ticket. Our life is not a lottery ticket. That by chance, oh, I got like this. By chance. Right? Our life should be properly disciplined in a way, as Krishna is explaining in Bhagavad Gita. Practice. When you have time, when you have proper, opportunity in the human form of life, why don't you practice? So, if you don't practice, then you have to again return to the cycle of birth and death. So Krishna says, in comparison, for a devotee who is practicing Krishna consciousness, the way Krishna has given us instructions in the Gita, and following the instructions of Prabhupada's way of chanting, leading a life of purity, Prabhupada says there is no fear of returning. Whether he leaves the body at an auspicious or inauspicious moment. So the description given in this verse 24 is auspicious moment.
Yes.
For a devotee, auspicious, not auspicious, doesn't matter. Any moment I am free, I am ready. Either by accident or arrangement. Oh, at that time only I have to leave. It doesn't happen. Oh, not happened. Missed the chance. No. For a devotee, no problem. Accident or arrangement, auspicious, inauspicious, doesn't matter. Any moment, I am ready because I am always absorbed in Krishna. What does Krishna say? Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaprayati samadbhavam yati nastyatya samshayaha. Antakala means anytime devotee is constantly absorbed in Krishna's thought. So any moment he is ready to leave the body, which means he is ready to give examination any time. That's the point. The next verse, Krishna says, Dhumo ratri tata Krishnaha Shanmasha Dakshinayanam Tatra Chandramasam Jyotir Yogi Prapya Nivartate. The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, there is no influence of fire, right? Opposite to what we studied in 24th. The smoke, the night, and the moonless fortnight, it is Amvasya. On the 6 months when the sun passes to the south, Dakshinayana, then he'll go to moon planet, but again he'll come back, which means he will go somewhere little up and come back again. Moon planet is considered to be one of the planets in heaven, Swargaloka, one of the planets. Right? So, other than the conditions mentioned in 24, maybe it is very dark, then Dakshinayana, Krishna Paksha, all these situations will take the yogi to go to moon planet. And moon planet is again, Prabhupada says very nicely, this is meant for those people who are very expert in fruitive actions. Sometimes you see, they are very rigid, followers of Vedic injunctions. Oh, this puja you have to do, this yajna you have to do, this particular ritual you have to do, like this, very, very meticulously doing everything. But why they are doing all that? So that from those actions, they can get a result, better result. Krishna explained about them in the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, if you remember, in verses 42 and 43. Krishna said that there are people who are called Vedavada Rata Partha. Vedavada Rata means they are supposed followers of Vedas. They are very attracted to the flowery language of the Vedas, but they are not so intelligent. Their only intelligence is how I can enjoy my senses nicely. Oh, why I am doing puja, why I am doing ritual, why I am doing some havan? Because I can get more wealth, more opportunity for sense enjoyment, more facilities for comfort for the whole family. Only material comforts. Because they are too attached to, as Prabhupada says, fruitive activities. Fruitive means from this I want some fruit. I want some comfort for my material gratification. So this type of a mentality is there. Then whatever Vedic rituals they do, they only do with that frame of mind. So these are called fruitive workers. Yes, karma kanda. Section of Vedas called Karma Kanda, wherein so many activities like rituals, puja, and sacrifices are all recommended. You perform all of them. For what? For a better, comfortable life. This life also, and then next life also. Next life will go to heaven, enjoy life. This is what everybody is thinking mostly. So for such fruity workers, or even if the practitioners of some yoga system are aspiring for this, then they will go to the moon planet at that. And the moon planet, they can stay up to 10,000 years from the Devata calculation. We heard about Brahma's lifespan. Now, moon planet, they stay 10,000 years. If you calculate from our Earth years, every 1 day in the moon is equal to 6 months in our, 12 hours in the moon is 6 months. In our Earth. Similarly, 6 months is night, which means our 1 year is 1 day in moon. Like that, 30 days, like that, 12 months, like that, 10,000 years seems to be quite, very much big lifespan. But even then, that also, as Krishna says, is going to end one day. So again, they'll return again. Krishna will explain in the next chapter. Kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. Once their punya is over, they'll again come down. Right? In the first 24th sloka, what we understood, they may go to Brahma Jyoti. That is stable than going to any planet in the material world. But that also, if you don't surrender to Krishna, you'll come back. Right? So like that, people who are very much engrossed in sense gratification, they are like this, going again and coming back again, going again and coming back again, like this. The whole cycle of up and down is going on. So Prabhupada is making a nice point here, that people say in the moon there is no life, there is only rocks, or there is a vacuum. Wrong. There is life in every planet. Maybe you are not eligible or you are not qualified to understand the life there. Right? Everywhere there is life. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, everywhere living entities are there, sarvaga. They can go anywhere. Based on your, previous desires and actions, you are promoted to a particular place or given a particular situation. In fire also there are living entities. In water also there are living entities. Everywhere there are living entities. Suitably, they have a very appropriate body to be living in that particular situation. So, verse 24 and 25 are describing about the different types of practitioners of yoga, how going at a specific time, specific, situation, you elevate yourself to either Brahma Jyoti or to one of the higher planets in this material world. So Krishna says in verse 26, Shukla Krishne gati yete jagata shashvate mate ekaya yati anavrittim anyaya avartate punaha. Like this, according to Vedas, there are two ways of passing from this world. One in light and one in darkness. Shukle Krishna. Shukla Paksha, Krishna Paksha. So to specifically at that time, I have to go at this specific time, not easy. You have to be very perfect, very advanced in yoga practice. Otherwise, not easy. Right? So like that, Krishna, the recommendations given here. There are two ways Vedas recommend. One is going in the name of Shukla Paksha, one more is Krishna Paksha. When one goes in the light, you may not come back. That is, you may go to Brahma Jyoti. But when you go leave your body during Krishna Paksha, you'll come back again, because going to moon planet means again you're going to come back. So like these descriptions are there in all the various scriptures. When Bhagavatam is giving a lot of such descriptions, especially Prabhupada is quoting, the Acharya Baladev Vidyabhushana is taking similar understanding from one Upanishad called Chandogya Upanishad. All these descriptions are there in the Vedic literatures. So, those who are addicted to karmic way of working, karma kandis or jnana kandis, want to speculate, as Prabhupada says, philosophical speculators, like this, they are constantly going and coming, going and coming. Right? So, this is what is going on in their life. Why? Because they don't, even with regard to when Krishna says going to Brahma Jyoti, that is also not stable. Because you don't have any engagement. You're not surrendered to Krishna. So if you can surrender to Krishna, Krishna, what did he say? He said in the verse number 17, 16, 17, 16, sorry. Abrahma bhuvana loka punaravartino Arjuna, mamupetyato kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Right? Even going from topmost Brahma Loka planet down to the lowest Patala Loka, all are places of repeated birth and death. But when you come to me, there is no more birth. Punarjanmana vidyate. So Prabhupada very nicely explains, you cannot get the ultimate, liberation or ultimate salvation unless you surrender to Krishna. Right? If you are doing any other thing, you will simply go round and round and round and round. Like this, there are so many humans who are all going round and round like this. So Krishna is trying to tell, become intelligent. Don't simply endeavor to spoil your life like this. Right? Next, Krishna is going to conclude in the next 2 verses, this chapter. About devotees, Krishna is going to speak in verse 27. Naite sriti partha janan yogi muhyati kaschana tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yogo yukto bhavarjuna. So the devotees who know these 2 paths, Arjuna, are never bewildered. Yogi muhyati kaschana. Here yogi refers to devotees in this context. The devotees of the Lord are never bewildered by any of these descriptions. Ordinarily, a person will become very attracted. We go there, we'll enjoy like this. So many. That's what descriptions are there in the scriptures. So they get bewildered. Because they are less intelligent. Whereas devotees are not bewildered. Right? Are never bewildered. Why? Because Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yogo yukta. They are yoga yukta. They are fixed or they are completely absorbed in devotion to Krishna. Right? Because always, not once in a while. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu. We find a similar expression in verse number 7 also in this chapter. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanuspara yudhyacha. Krishna is in the same statement. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu means always, all the time, they're always fixed in devotion to Krishna. So, devotees need not worry. Oh, going to moon, going to Brahma Loka, that Loka, this Loka, what about me? I'm only going to Krishna Loka. No, don't worry. That is the highest. Okay. Whereas the ordinarily people are bewildered, devotees are very clear. Right? They are very clear. My destination is guaranteed. That's what Krishna is assuring us. The next chapter, 9th chapter towards the end, Krishna is going to tell us, he's assuring us. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam eveshasi satyam te pratijane priyosimi. He says, declare it boldly. Rather, is my assurance, my guarantee that you will surely come to me. Right? Like this, Krishna is assuring. 2 times Krishna says, 9th chapter, 18th chapter. So, the guarantee to go to spiritual world is given by Krishna himself. Right? So, in that way, there is no worry for a devotee. Because he is completely absorbed in devotion to Krishna. He has no worry. That's what Krishna says, no? Ma suchaha sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. Ma suchaha means no worry, no anxiety, no tension. Krishna has told, very nice, that assurance, that faith the devotee has is very important. So, a devotee of the Supreme Lord should not worry whether he will depart either by arrangement or by accident. Wherever, whenever Krishna wants, let it happen. Whereas for an ordinary person, he is always in fear. It is exactly what Shukadeva Goswami, when he started speaking to the questions of Parikshit. Parikshit asked 2 questions when Shukadeva Goswami arrived in the assembly. Because Parikshit was cursed to be, to die in next 7 days. So he was thinking what to do, how to use my 7-day, how to perfect my life in the 7 days. So he asked these 2 questions to Shukadeva Goswami. What is that I should hear, I should chant, I should remember, and perform any activities when I am at the verge of death? First question. Second question was, generally people what they should do throughout their life. Right? For both the questions, Shukadeva Goswami in the very beginning to his answer he told, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. No, he says that Shotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavya Cha Ichhato Bhayam. Right? He says that Parikshit, if you can hear about Krishna, who is actually the super soul, who is the Supreme Lord, always hear about him, you glorify him, then you will be freed from the fear of ultimate death. Very wonderful statement he makes. So like this, the devotee has no fear, whether by accident or arrangement, auspicious, inauspicious, no problem. Because he is firmly fixed in his devotion to Krishna. So Prabhupada again and again stresses the point. Chanting Hare Krishna is so important. This is going to save you from the ultimate problem of death. Right? So devotees always chant Hare Krishna. Even though they may know all the things, all the descriptions given in various scriptures, they are aware. Bhagavatam is talking about this, Prabhupada is talking about all these things he's telling. Right? So always they are engaged in Krishna's devotion, basically by chanting Hare Krishna constantly, Prabhupada says, in various places. Because their mind is absorbed in Krishna's thoughts, nothing else. How to do service to Krishna, how to please him best. That's what their mind is absorbed. And so Prabhupada is very nicely telling the word Yoga Yukta, Krishna uses in this verse, Yoga Yukta Bhavarjuna, which means fixed in devotion. I may be engaged in many activities like any ordinary person, but my mind is always having the background of how to connect, how to dovetail, Prabhupada says, how to dovetail everything in Krishna's service. All my affairs should be steeped in Krishna consciousness. Okay, eating aspect. I'll eat, means I'll offer to Krishna and Krishna will give me prasadam, I'll eat. Like this, every aspect of your life is centered around Krishna's devotion. That is what the devotee is always absorbed in. Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. So for such a devotee, what is the problem? Right? So like this, Krishna is assuring again what he began as an answer in the 5th verse. She is again assuring this same in the 27th verse. So nice. Right? For Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. Always devotee is absorbed in my devotion. So for him, there is no problem, because this is the question Arjuna asked. For a devotee, how he will fix his mind on Krishna? So Krishna is telling, because always he is fixed in mind in Krishna. What is the problem? Always he has fixed. That is what devotee means. Devotee means he has fixed his mind always on me. So there is no worry. That's the point. Right? Question of Arjuna was, how to fix the mind on Krishna at the time of death. The devotee, the definition of devotee means he has fixed his mind always in Krishna. Man mana bhava mad bhakto, mayeva mana adhatsva. Krishna is going to explain many aspects about devotees always fixed their minds on Krishna. They have practiced like this. Fix their minds on Krishna. Right? Now we'll come to the last verse of this chapter. Vedeshu yagneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu tatpunya phalam pradishtam atyeti tatsarvam idam viditva yogi param sthanu upaiti chadyam. So here Krishna is giving, somebody may think, oh, what about studying Vedas, Vedeshu? What about performing Havan, Yagnas, Yagneshu? And there are so many yogis who do a lot of tapasyas, tapassu, right? And there's so many people who are very charitably disposed. They build hospitals, they build anatha-shalas, dharmashalas. They're doing a lot of punya, and there are punya phalam, right? Whether some people go to pilgrimage, some people do so many activities they do. as part of their spiritual cultivation. But here, Krishna is telling only think of me, chant Hare Krishna. Other things I'm not doing. Somebody may have question. So Krishna is very nicely answering that doubt in a common person's mind. Once you have taken the path of devotional service, Atyeti tatsarvam idam viditva. Right? All the things what Krishna has mentioned now, studying Vedic literatures, performing sacrifices, performing a lot of austerities, or performing a lot of charities, getting a lot of good pious credits by performing a lot of other good works, good karmas, all that can be obtained, or rather the same benefit you will get simply if you accept the path of devotion. Means basically Krishna want to say the benefits which you will get by studying Vedas, performing sacrifices, or performing so many Vedic directions, which otherwise people are all busy doing them, the same benefits of all of them you will get by performing devotion to Krishna. And devotion to Krishna begins with chanting Hare Krishna. Which means if you are chanting Hare Krishna every day, fixed number of rounds, or coming to the standard of Prabhupada's recommendation of minimum 16 rounds, you have studied all the Vedas, you have performed all the sacrifices, and you have given all the dana, you have done all the punya works. Oh, very good. Why don't you chant? Otherwise, doing all these things is not easy. Now, Prabhupada starts explaining the regular, normal procedure in the Vedic culture. What happens? A regular, normal procedure in the Vedic culture is a child is sent to Gurukula under training of a spiritual master, very austere life. A child is trained to perform a lot of rigid rules and regulations, to have controlled mind, controlled senses, and he has to every day beg alms morning and evening and bring it to the Guru's place. And Guru, if he tells the disciple, okay, you can come and have your food, then only the disciple can come and have. The Guru forgets, then the disciple has to fast. Then like this, he has to study Vedic scriptures under the care of a Guru, living like a menial servant. He may be king's son also, doesn't matter. Very menial servant, study Vedas, understand scriptures. Like this, up to 20-25 years, he has to go through a rigid training as a brahmachari. Then he becomes a grihastha. And grihastha, if he wants, he can become a grihastha, and he has to, again, in grihastha life, he has to perform many sacrifices, many rules, regulations he has to follow, right? So that he can further advance in spiritual life. And at the one point of time, 50th year, after that, he has to renounce, rather, he has to retire. It's called vanaprastha, right? And slowly he has to come to sannyasa. Like this, step by step, you have to gradually advance. And if you are, done sufficiently all the things in your life nicely, you may go to heaven. Or if you are a little more advanced, Prabhupada says, you may go to reach Brahma Jyoti. Right? Or if you are perfected nicely, you can go to Vaikuntha. Rarely. This is the normal Vedic process. But here Krishna is telling all those things, just like if I say, if you have to become an advocate, you have to do a schooling, you have to do, then high school, then college, law college, then you have to be certified as an advocate properly from the Bar Council. That is how you are called advocate. And coming to lower courts in a city to high court, again a big exercise, again high court to Supreme Court, takes a lot of time, a lot of efforts. So like this, if I say, no, you just, I will promote you, you will come to Supreme Court immediately. You will become judge, Chief Justice in Supreme Court. Just see, oh, really? How? Yes, that's what Prabhupada says very nicely. The beauty of Krishna consciousness, however, is that by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals, the different orders of life. Because in Kali Yuga, following all the rules, regulations in the Vedic scriptures, not practical. There is no Varnashrama system being followed. People are all, as Prabhupada says, Kali Yuga, mostly they are all in the category of Kalo Shudra Sambhava. Shudra means don't have any qualifications with regard to performing the rules, regulations as given in scriptures. They just want to work under somebody. That is how this Kali Yuga is. So, this following Krishna consciousness is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. One stroke, just follow what Prabhupada is telling us. Chant every day, Hare Krishna mantra, 16 rounds. Read Bhagavad Gita, try to follow the principles of offering food. Lead a life of purity. That is good enough. That will give you the highest benefit. Let's see. So this is what this 7th and 8th chapters are telling us. Prabhupada says, this verse is the summation, essence, or the summary of 7th and 8th chapters. Because this is exactly, they are dealing with devotional service, Krishna consciousness. So basically, the middle 6 chapters basically is from 7th to 12th are called the essence of the Gita. I gave you this example earlier also. The first 6 chapters and the last 6 chapters are like the covers of a book. And the 6 chapters, middle 6 chapters is the content of the book. Essence of the Gita. Right? So if you can somehow understand these middle 6 chapters with the help of pure devotee like Prabhupada, with this wonderful purpose which Prabhupada has given us, you will surpass all the procedures otherwise which is required to purify yourself. Right? So hearing from a pure devotee, Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna, hearing from pure devotees will purify your heart. So Prabhupada is explaining the advancement in bhakti very nicely towards the end of this purport. How with little faith you start hearing from a pure devotee and trying to follow those instructions. Ado Shraddha and Tata Sadhu Sangha. By hearing from devotees with faith, you associate with devotees, Sadhu Sangha. And Sadhu Sangha will give you the directions of what you should do in your life, bhajana kriya. You should chant like this, you should do in your life like this, to change your lifestyle with regard to approach in life, have a proper direction of Krishna in your life. It is called bhajana kriya. Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, bhajana kriya is slowly, what happens? Anartha nivritti. Prabhupada says, misgivings are dispelled. Anartha means unwanted things, which is not required for our life. We want to go to mall, we want to go to cinema, we want to go to enjoy life, like not required. Right? So we have to be understanding that purpose of life is not simply to waste our time like this. I was just reading one letter of Prabhupada. One Western woman, lady, she's trying to be associated with devotees. So she's writing to Prabhupada, I want to study about monkeys and do some PhD in that. So Prabhupada responds, what is the use of studying about monkeys and waste your time? Why don't you study Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and perfect your life? So like this, people are doing so much research on so many things, which is of no practical importance to the soul. So like this, the unwanted things you should give up. So with little faith, you hear devotees, associate with devotees, they give directions how to move forward in spiritual life. This will, take out all the unwanted activities which are otherwise you are engaged in, busy, doing so, giving time for Krishna consciousness. Then what happens? Your doubts will be removed. Right? You will be firmly fixed in your understanding, yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And gradually, you will develop attachment towards reading Bhagavad Gita, chanting Hare Krishna. And the activity of performance of chanting and reading and association of devotees will give you pleasure. Nishtha, Asakti, Ruchi, taste will come. Oh, this is very nice. I should do this. It's like all of you are attending every week this satsang. of Bhagavad Gita. Good. You have come to one level of taste. Right? Every Friday, if you don't attend, you'll feel something I'm missing. Am I right? Mr. Kamath? Huh? So some level of taste has come. That taste should increase further. This is all practical. This is all scientifically. Rupa Goswami explains to us. Then Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti. Then you'll come to the stage, Prabhupada says, you will fall in love with Krishna. Right? Bhava. Bhava stage is one stage preliminary to love of Krishna. Stage of ecstasy. I feel good. I feel happy doing all these things. Otherwise, right now people are busy watching some political debate or some terrorism action going on in some country, wars going on everywhere. That's what whole news is filled with. People are taking pleasure in that, from Ananda in that, right? They get some pleasure. But devotees want to take pleasure in Krishna Katha. That's the point. So in that way, if you go on with your life like this, Krishna assures us that he will take us back to spiritual world, that is Goloka Vrindavana, and enjoy eternal happiness there. So this is what Prabhupada explains here, that the middle 6 chapters are very important. Now we have covered 2 chapters in the middle portion of the Gita, 7th and 8th. 7th chapter is known as Knowledge of the Absolute. Krishna is revealing about his identity and the way the world is functioning. And in 8th chapter, further details about our journey, what we should be doing is explained. And 9th chapter, Krishna is going to give the most confidential knowledge, most essential understanding of his existence and this world around us and our duties. Very nicely Krishna explains. 9th chapter is very important, the most confidential knowledge. Confidential meaning very secret, not to be accessed or not to be understood by anybody, everybody. It is only qualified people can understand. That knowledge Krishna is going to reveal. Right? That we'll take up in our coming sessions. Okay. So I'll conclude here. If anybody has anything to ask, discuss, we can take a few questions or comments. Okay. So nothing. Then we will close now. We will continue our discussions on 9th chapter from next session onwards. Okay. So I request all of you to read the 8 chapters regularly. Not that I have finished 8 chapters over. No. Not over. This is just the beginning. Started. You have to read again and again and again and again, because so many points Krishna makes, so many things Krishna explains. All that has to, it has to assimilate in your mind, consciousness nicely. It has to settle down properly. That is how we should see the world. Okay, fine. So I'll close here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.